let's talk about it. Feeling uncomfortable being pretty, feeling weird being pretty. This is so prevalent for me in my life, and I've known some family members who have struggled with this as well. So let's dive straight into this. So, why is it as girls or as women we find it weird to dress up, or we find it weird to wear more like feminine clothes, and we find it weird to be like the center of attention at times? Now, just in our blood, I think women are kind of this, and it's in our blood to kind of play small and feel like we're less than and not take up so much space. And then I feel like too, I had uncomfortable feelings about developing, like developing boobs, developing a little butt, developing some hips. That made me feel weird. A lot of family members would comment on it, and I would be like, oh, this is so uncomfortable. And then there are times too, for some people, something inappropriate could have happened to where it's like they found safety and solace in covering up. Like they find safety and solace in, not bringing too much attention to themselves. Another thing that I realized, it could also be from being overlooked. Like growing up, like I was that girl that was, didn't get a lot of attention. I was not not this beauty standard. It was like ill this, ill that. I was taught basically that I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. So that changed. I'm no longer treated like that anymore. So stepping into this new energy, the world responds to me differently. It's like now I went from being treated like I was the back of a shoe to like the main attraction. And that was weird for me. Like I was like, what the heck? And I remember talking to a guy who was overlooked as well, and he rejoiced in it. He enjoying it. He like, listen, I'm swimming in all these women. I'm lit. I couldn't do that. For me, I just couldn't process it because I was stuck in a self concept of I wasn't used to being pretty. Like I wasn't used to all the attention on me. I wasn't used to compliments all the time. I wasn't used to being flirted with by men a lot. I was not used to that. So it was like dressing pretty, dressing feminine, stepping into my boldness, being who I truly wanted to be was so incongruent to that old self concept. Because that old self concept was like, you ugly. You gotta stay in the cut. You not good enough. You not society's beauty standard. So you gotta kind of make this work other ways. You you have disfigurements. You have things that society doesn't praise. Nobody wants you. Like that's basically the messages that I got and how I felt inside. I was so scared of love because like my old self concept was who would love you? You not ideal. And guys, I'm just being transparent. So when you come from that and then things change and the world responds to you differently, you step into your beauty and you see it, it's like it's so weird. It is so weird. It's like when you was used to being, poor all your life, you start making money. You love it, but it's like, oh my God, I'm not used to going to the store able to buy the whole store. I was used to window shopping. I couldn't even come in a store like this. So that was one of the reasons too why I felt uncomfortable as well, because that was what I was taught, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't pretty, that I should be over there, that I should play small, that I should you know, just I don't know, be in that concept of I'm not good enough. And then I realized too, another thing is when you're also depressed, like when you're not feeling good about yourself too, like sometimes you can neglect yourself. Like even just if things are not going on, you went through a terrible breakup or whatever. Sometimes too, you will feel uncomfortable when you're going through something, or you just don't feel like you don't feel like yourself anymore. You will start to neglect yourself as well. But I did just want to address where I think those feelings come from, like not being taught, but also being overlooked, going through something inappropriate as a child, um, um, being uncomfortable developing. It's so different being a woman than it is being a man, and it's so different being a little girl than being a little boy. Like, we girls are kind of raised in fear. Like, we're kind of taught, like, avoid boys, and oh, be careful with this, be careful with that, be careful with this, be careful with that. So there's all these, like, fearful messages that get in the way too of us kind of just being. So there's a lot of shoulds and should nots in our minds. So guys, this is a girl talk. I'm just venting to y'all about this, because why is it that women feel this way? And like I told y'all, the reason for me, I was uncomfortable with developing a figure. I went through some things, and like being overlooked and stuff, and that kind of was just weird for me. So now I'm stepping into my power, and first, the way I did it was tapping into my gifts. So tapping into my love for speaking and writing. Like, I remember, you guys, if you watch my videos, I was mortified in getting in front of the camera, because like I said, that self-concept, having a lazy eye, and having physical disfigurements. I kind of just felt like, okay, like, who am I to get in front of a camera? Who am I? I don't want to get made fun of. I don't want to get judged. Guys, look at my brand now. If I didn't listen to that, I wouldn't have over 10K supporters online. And now, guys, I don't say this to brag. And this is another thing. Why do we always got to say that? I'm not trying to brag, but men got to say that too. But with men, it's more expected. But it's like, that's another thing. I also felt like I had to play small. Like, I couldn't fully be myself. Success felt wrong, because I was always a woman of evolution, always trying to be better, always trying to, get it. I'm a hustler. Like, I as much as I be hating these terms sometimes, I can't deny it. I hustle. I grind. Success makes me happy. I like achieving, and the people around me didn't like that I was doing that. So that was another thing that kind of taught me, like, yeah, don't be your best self. Don't be your best self. Another thing too, guys, when you struggle with low self-esteem, like I said, being overlooked, but even if, like, you not overlooked, if you struggle with low self-esteem too, like you could be very beautiful, but if you have a low self-esteem, like, you don't love yourself, that could be another thing that could make you very uncomfortable putting on nice clothes and getting yourself together and taking pride in your appearance, because you kind of just feel like, I don't love this thing I'm trying to dress up. Like, so what's the point? It could also be laziness. It could be laziness too. I went into depression, but it could also be being lazy. Like, sometimes, we don't want to put in the work and be our best selves, because it's just laziness. I had those moments, but I just ain't feel like it. I'm like, listen, I'm not doing that. And as women, we don't have to get dressed up 24/7. But, like I said, because if you watch my videos, I'm not dressed up 24/7. But I did have to up my game in certain areas. So I had to understand that. And just want to say too, if you weren't used to being beautiful, it's going to feel weird when you actually start to become beautiful. It's like, I'm not used to this, So yeah, guys, these are my reasons. Because I don't want to, because now I feel like I'm just rambling. But yeah, guys, this is just a girl talk. This is just a girl talk, and I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below. Why do you think some women struggle with being pretty, or struggle with feeling pretty? Oh, and I just thought of something else. It could also be too, when a woman actually is, but like, she's been made to feel like she's dumb, or she's been made to feel like she has the pretty girl privilege, and she's only doing all this because she is pretty. Like, that can also make a woman uncomfortable stepping into her power too, stepping into her beauty as well, because she was treated like, the world opened its arms to her, and she saw that, and she saw, like, how she got that treatment and certain girls didn't, how she was kind of ridiculed for that as well. I just wanted to throw that in there. But y'all, this is a girl talk. I want to hear y'all feedback in the comments down below. Do you struggle with being pretty, guys? It's a safe space. Let's talk about it. It's your girl High Go signing out. Peace.